get a phone call. It's this doctor, and he says, hey, there's been a terrible car accident, and everyone in the car is dead except one person. So my brother Race and my nephew Ryder were in the car with my family. So I just fall to the ground. Some kind of told me, like, you have to pick up the phone. You have to figure out who the survivor is. My kids aren't lessons. Like, they were people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care to learn a lesson. I want my kid back.
Life is hard. Everybody's got their different shit, and what you went through is incredibly fucking hard, and what you're going through is incredibly hard.
I don't care if you're a CEO. I don't care if you're a professional athlete. I don't care if you're a big time lawyer. I don't care if you wrote a book. Doesn't matter who you are. You cannot cross the river of grief alone. You have to find people and link arms with to cross this.
What would you say to people that are trying to have conversations with someone around grief, something they've experienced?
Oldish. The art of knowing more and caring less. With your host, Randy Spelling, Brian Austin Green, and Sharna Burgess.
What would you do if in a single moment everything changed? Not just your plans, not just your path, but your entire world. Our guest today didn't just go through something hard, he went through something that should have broken him. But instead of retreating, he chooses to share, to speak, to help others find light when all they can see is darkness. He's the voice behind the 1090 podcast, where he talks honestly about grief, trauma, mental health, faith, and the fight to keep going, especially when you don't want to. If you've ever wondered how to stand back up when life brings you to your knees, this episode is for you.
Mason, thank you for driving here.
Well, I messed up
And
the
being
first
here
one,
with
so
us.
I had to make it up to you guys.
Well, no, but okay, so you didn't mess up the first one. The first one was
you were with your son,
right.
right?
The first one was a miscommunication.
That's a good excuse.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I was legit in our pool swimming, and I'm like, wait, what time is it? I'm like, oh shit.
Dude, you know what? There are
We've all done
certain like things that are important, and on the list of things, being a guest on a podcast compared to being with your kids and swimming and doing there's no.
Yeah,
We're
I
all
kind of
parents
feel
and we
like
get it.
you were just meant to be in here with us in the room and share some
That's how I feel. Like I was supposed to miss it, so now I'm here in person instead of a Zoom, right? This is way
Exactly.
good.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Zoom anyway, so this is
cool
this is
stuff.
fantastic.
So thanks for having me, and I'm glad I made the drive, and thank you.
Dude, you're in.
So we're here. So Mason, your story is one of those stories that
As a parent, it's
I would say as a human being, yes, as a parent, right? But just no one wants to live through what you had to endure. And if you don't mind, can you take us back to what life was like before the experience and then what happened?
Yeah. Man, so I was a simple guy. Like I grew up with a dad. I remember when I was like 8 years old, I learned who Bill Gates was. And I'm like, Dad, like this Bill Gates guy's loaded. Like he's got this and that, blah, blah, blah. And my dad's a social worker. He's a therapist. He helps kids with drug addiction. So we're like middle class. And my dad looks at me and he's like, Mason, he's like, I'm richer than Bill Gates. I got you, I got your brothers and your sisters, and I got your mom. No one's luckier, no one's richer than me. And I just remember being 8 years old, like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, we're not rich. Like, what? Right. But like, that was the type of dad I had. So like, I grew up, I just wanted a family. I just wanted people I loved. Very simple guy. I married my high school sweetheart, Courtney. We have 3 kids, Riggins, Blue, and Frankie. We have weird names for our kids. I don't know if it's a Utah thing or whatever, but
I love it.
leave me alone. But those are our kids. And I just felt like my dad. I just felt like with this family I had, like I had it all. Like no one was luckier than me. And I was a high school basketball coach and high school psychology teacher. And then I just took this new job training basketball players. So I kind of started a side hustle of just training players on the side because you don't make a lot of money as a high school basketball coach. And it kind of turned into the side hustle was doing better than the main hustle. Like I was very successful training basketball players. So I got offered this incredible job, this basketball complex in southern Utah called Nets on Fire, called me up, offered me this job to run their basketball complex, which meant train players, put AAU basketball teams together, travel coach, and they'd pay me this much. And I'm like, I didn't even know this was a job. I'm like, seriously? And they're like, yeah, like blah, blah, blah. So me and Courtney talk about it, and we're like, well, we can't pass this up. Like, this is literally my dream job. So we move our family to southern Utah, St. George. I start my job. My wife, Courtney, is a really good nurse, so she's able to find a nursing job pretty quickly that she likes as a home and hospice nurse. And then right after I took that job, my family had a family vacation in northern Utah, about 4 hours away. And I usually always go, but I literally just took this new job. And the family reunion was literally the first weekend of our first basketball tournament. And I just took the job. So I felt like we can't go. Like, I have to coach our first tournament. I just took the job. And my family was cool. Like, yeah, like, we totally understand. No worries. And then that Friday, Courtney came up to me, my wife, and she's like, hey, you're going to be coaching all weekend. I'm going to have the 3 kids. I think I'm just going to take them to the family reunion. They'll have fun. We'll be back Sunday. I'm like, yeah. Like, if you want to do that, that'd be great. And then I told Courtney, like, you should call my brother Race because he's going to the same family reunion, obviously. Maybe you guys can carpool together, follow each other, whatever. So she calls my brother Race, and his family kind of has the same thing going. They're kind of split. So his wife and 2 of his kids can't go, but his youngest son, Ryder, can go. So my brother Race and my nephew Ryder get into the car with my family. They go to the family reunion. And so this is July 25th, 2021. They're driving back, and I'm waiting in my bedroom for them. And I get a phone call, and it's this doctor, and he says, hey, there's been a terrible car accident, and everyone in the car is dead except one person. So I just fall to the ground, just going through all of the things, shock, denial, but also crying, and just knew that it was real at the same time. And I just remember like one person survived. I just remember those words like kind of echoing in my head as I'm laying on the ground crying. Some kind of told me like, hey, like you have to pick up the phone. Like, you have to figure out who the survivor is. You have to call your family. You have to like, you have to keep going, May. So I pick up the phone, and they're like, the survivor's a 3-year-old. And so that meant my wife, Courtney, was dead. High school sweetheart. Never dated another girl. I met her when I was 15. Mm. And the car crash was so bad, they're like, you can't see her. We'll let you see her hand if you want to see her hand. I chose not to see her hand. That meant Riggins is dead, my firstborn kid. He was a week away from turning 6. Just a happy kid. He just loved being an older brother, and just so nice and full of energy all the time. And then our youngest, Frankie, was dead. So she just turned 2. She was just putting sentences together, and she was a little tomboy following her brothers around. My brother Race is dead, and my nephew Ryder's dead. So my friend drove me to the hospital. It was about 4 hours away. We had to drive through the car crash to get to the hospital. We get to the hospital, and I just remember telling my friend, like, hey, if Blue's not okay, like, if he's not going to make it, like, I'm going to kill myself. And I'm not sure what he's told me. I think he just said something like, no. But that's just kind of where I was at. Like, as we're driving 4 hours to this hospital, I'm just crying and then screaming and then silent and just going through all of it. Like, that's where my brain's at. Like, if Blue's not okay, like, I'm done. So we get to the hospital, and Blue has a cut on his head, and he has a fractured hand. But he was okay. We spent one night in the hospital. And then we left, and that was kind of the beginning and the end of a lot of things for me. Oh man, I guess to make a long story short, just really hard to talk as a guy. Just really hard to find space like this where you feel heard and not judged, and you can be vulnerable and ask for help and say you're not doing good. And so I created a podcast to talk about grief and to talk about trauma and shame and guilt and failure and loss and all those things. And I think that's what's led me to you guys. I think you guys heard of my podcast and invited me here, and now here I am today.
So sorry.
Story is, we have 5 kids. Randy has 2. First of all, I honestly can't even imagine. I can't imagine. It is, it's just beyond comprehension. And the fact that you are doing what you're doing and you're trying to help it be more acceptable, especially for men, to be vulnerable and honest and deep is, God, I give you so much credit for that, because it's one of the things that we hear all the time when we're here and we have guests on of, oh my God, it's so nice to have 2 men that'll sit in the room and be vulnerable and be, and I don't realize that is such an issue until you have people in here and they talk about it. And I can't imagine going through what it is you went through and feeling alone and unsafe, because there's no more vulnerable time in your life than that.
First of all, thank you for sharing. I can't imagine how many times you've had to share, and the emotion that comes off you when you share is, I mean, it's tangible. You can feel it. It transfers, and I can't imagine there's ever a point where that's maybe not the case. How long ago was this when this happened?
So this is July 2021. So we just crossed the 4-year mark.
The 4-year mark.
Which is, I don't know what that means. It feels like it happened yesterday and 30 years ago. So.
Right. You have lived, I suffer with like intrusive thoughts. And when I had my firstborn son, I really struggled with them, and I imagined these things all the time. And so while I have not lived it, I get hit with the waves of the fear of it. And so I cannot imagine them actually coming to fruition. But one thing I've said to Brian, I've said to my mum, it will end me if this happens. It would end me. That thought that you had of saying, I'm going to kill myself, and thank you for sharing that thought. I think everyone would have the same thing. Like, why am I even still here? You know, how am I ever going to survive this? Blue was still there. Right?
Yeah.
Blue was still there. He was with you. You went home with him. What was the first moment where you felt like, I think I can survive this? And what was the first step you took?
I don't know if I've reached that moment of, I think I can do this. I think, it's like a thought that goes through my mind a lot, actually, is, and I tell my girlfriend Sammy that a lot. Like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, and even you guys today in this conversation, like, the terminology is like, oh, you've went through it. Like,
You're going.
I'm very much in it. And I think podcasting has helped with that, answering that question. I think when I feel the best, I don't know what I mean by that, but when I feel good, like I have purpose and maybe I can do this, is when making something good happen from it. So I'm helping people, I'm podcasting, I'm doing some type of charity work, I'm giving money away to people who need it, whatever it might be. Those are probably the moments where I feel closest to like, okay, like this is possible, I can do this. But I don't know, that's a question that I'm still trying to answer, because I do get worried, you know, as this unfolds and Blue gets older and he moves out and goes to college, what am I going to want to do with my life? Right. So I think the battle is still very much ongoing for me. But definitely Blue. I mean, Blue is the reason why I haven't taken my life. And I guess to maybe answer your question a little bit more specifically, one thing that I have that a lot of people don't is tremendous support. Like, the only difference between me and the homeless guy or the dead guy from drug addiction or killing himself is support from my family, from my wife's family, from my friends, from my community. Not a lot of people have that. So I think it'd just be a lie if I stood up here like, oh, this is Mason Sawyer's 5 things to do to like, that'd just be a crock of shit. Like, I've had tremendous help. And it's funny though, because with tremendous help, there's some pitfalls to that. And one of them was I could just completely check out because I had so many people offering to watch Blue.
Right.
So I could just drink, drugs, sleeping pills. I could just zone out for days.
Did you?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I did. That's what I would do. I'd wake up. I'd make sure I got Blue to school to somewhere. And then it was lots of whiskey, marijuana, whiskey shots and bong rips. That was what it was for me.
And were you doing that before at all?
No, I never had a sip of alcohol or drugs.
Right.
I just couldn't handle the pain. I couldn't handle reality. I couldn't look at it. I couldn't. I still struggle with that. I mean, I smoked weed first thing this morning because I hate my life. I wake up and I'm like, oh. And it just helps take the pain from 10 to like, all right, it's at a 7. Like, okay, I can do a 7.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not perfect. And I struggle with a lot of things like that still. But yeah, and I think the honesty is the number one thing that I don't know if that's true, but I think the honesty I have is one thing that helps people. Absolutely. It's because people I talk about, they deal with alcoholism. They deal with drug addiction.
I was just going to say.
They're used to guys telling them, well, do this, this, and this. And like, I guarantee you they're still an alcoholic too. They're just not telling you.
I was just going to say, like, I think it's very, to be human is what is the most helpful for people because everyone, this is who doesn't want to mask pain and do something to help them get through something as incredibly difficult as what it is you've gone through. So I think to try and sit and be like, oh, I'm handling this in such a great way is like other people are going, I can't fucking live up to that. So what's the point?
Here's
like,
my
why am I sitting in front of you?
Process. And then people are like, oh, well,
no,
I don't know how to just be where I'm at. And I think what you're doing is just authentically being where you're at, who you are, and feeling what you're feeling and sharing that.
Bro,
and
we're
giving
fucking
people
human
the space.
beings, man. Like life is hard. Life is fucking hard. Everybody's got their different shit, and what you went through is incredibly fucking hard, and what you're going through is incredibly hard. And I think as human beings, we do a disservice if we try and rise above everybody else and act like, oh, I'm the pillar you should be fucking looking at of like what choices to make that are positive and which ones not. Like the more we can all just sit and talk, the more little bits of information and things come from other people or come from ourselves that are these like light bulb moments where you go, that's a good one. Like I can take that baby step. I can use that. And that can be the little thing that gets me from here to here. And it's just like adding those little things.
I know, Randy, you have a question, but just as an observation, what I appreciate so much in listening to you is that so very often today when people are trying to take a traumatic experience or their pain and turn it into helping someone, they leave out the authenticity of where they're still at.
Yes.
And so they paint this picture of I've gone through it and I'm here and you can too. But I'm such an emotional human. I'm so sorry if I get emotional. What's so beautiful in listening to you is the rawness of where you are at and how you are surviving it. You just said 3 minutes ago, you woke up and you said the words, I hate my life, but you're still here and you're living and you're surviving and you're finding ways to still help while still feeling and experiencing. That authenticity, that rawness, that in real time healing and dealing with your experiences is so rare, Mason. It's so rare because everyone wants to paint the picture of I'm through it or I'm here or I'm perfect or turn it into something, but they forget to be real about it at the same time. So what you're sharing, while I can't imagine how it feels for you in the moment, I can imagine what it feels like for someone that's living through tragedy and listening to you to feel seen and to feel like, oh my God, I don't have to have it together and follow these 5 steps and pretend that everything is okay. I can be in this and still exist and take care of my kid and function at the level and at the rate that I can
at whatever
manage.
fucking level that is, because it's a level. So to pat yourself on the back and go, this is the fucking level I can give right now. And so I'm giving it.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
And that's enough. Like that's not, you don't need to transcend something and be some superhuman being in any of it. You're being a human being and you're being yourself, but you're still trying the best you can to get through it, which is
unbelievable.
What a better fucking example of a human being
of healing and grief.
Healing than that. It's gut wrenching and so fucking inspiring to be sitting here with you because I feel like this is a great place to do this. We love connecting with people and having these conversations just so people can watch and they can go, oh, okay, we're not alone in this stuff. Because there are a lot of people that don't have an opportunity to do a podcast and do things to help them get through these situations. And we do. So this is an incredible opportunity to turn grief and incredible fucking difficulty into a learning experience for other people, which I think then on some level benefits you.
Does it benefit you?
Well, the way I look at it is like, okay, this is a really good opportunity to teach my son things.
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do? And life's really unfair and brutal and not the way it's supposed to go and not the way we thought it would go. Like, what type of person are we going to be in those situations? And I remember when I first started therapy, my therapist used that word opportunity and I just fucking hated it. Like, of
course.
And that's
I don't want an opportunity.
Yeah. And that's been a difficult part of grief is like, there's learning and there's growth and there's lessons to be learned. Like, my kids aren't lessons. Like, they were people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care to learn a lesson. I want my kid back.
Yeah.
And any lesson learned, I'd gladly give right back to have him back. So yeah, and that's the paradox of grief is like the moment you're in, you'll never appreciate it more. After losing a kid and the girl you love more than anything and a brother and a nephew, like you'll just, the ability to be present and appreciate that is something that I've never had and I've never would have had. But I don't want to be in the moment without them. So it's this weird paradox where like the lesson learned is the grief given. Like I don't want that lesson. I want them. But yeah, with acceptance comes the lesson and the growth.
The thing that's shitty is like you can't, it makes absolute sense to think that way and feel that way, but that's not actually a choice you can make in this fucking situation. You're either going to choose to figure out a way to move forward or you're not. Like there is no affecting the past in that way. There is no takebacks. There are no changes. The only change is how you live within this situation.
Yeah, that's why the name of my podcast is the 1090 Podcast. And this is exactly what you're saying. It comes from my favorite quote, life's 10% what happens to you and 90% what you're going to do about it. I think that's everything you're saying. Like, I don't know why it happened. I don't know what the purpose is. I don't know any of that. I can't control any of that. All I know is this is what happened. And the only question left is what am I going to do about it? Right. And I think with grief, so much, denial is a big stage of grief. And every time you're daydreaming of the past with them or what the future was supposed to look like with them, that's denial. It's taking me out of the moment. And so again, trying to be in the moment and telling myself, you can't control any of that. This is all you can control. What are you going to do? And it's sad and scary when you realize how much of this you really have control over, because it's not a lot.
No.
I think it's your thoughts. And I don't even know if it's your thoughts. Like, do you control your own thoughts? I don't know if I do.
It's learning how to navigate your thoughts.
Maybe all we have control over is our actions. Because I'm not even, it doesn't feel like I'm in control of my own thoughts. Memories of them just come right in. If I see a backpack or a bike, boom.
Yeah. So what do you say? I mean, I'm sure you encounter people all the time who are going through their own struggles. And someone says, I'm at a place in my life where I don't know what else to do. I've gone through some hard situations, and how do I work with my thoughts? Like if it's 10% what happens and 90% how I respond, how do I respond to things on a daily basis? I mean, for you, what is that like?
I think for me, my son Blue would be, man, that he just gets me out of bed. Like I need to get him to school. I got to be a good example to him.
So the responsibility of Blue gets you out of bed.
And the joy, like everyone I lost, I see in Blue. Like I see Courtney in Blue. I see Riggins in Blue. I see Frankie in Blue. I even see my brother in Blue and Ryder. And so interacting with Blue really keeps me connected with them. And then I think therapy, the modality we used in therapy with my therapist was called IFS. And
internal family system.
Wow, look at you. Yeah. Wow. Are you? Yeah. Wow.
He's a life coach. He knows all the things.
Yeah.
Can you explain just a piece of that for the people who don't know?
And this has really helped me. And so you kind of feel like you're schizophrenic at first. Like we all have these parts in us. So anger, bargaining, shame, guilt, self-sabotage. Maybe there's good ones like courage, whatever. And in therapy, using no bad parts therapy method, my therapist and I, we would talk to each of these parts. Like, let's go talk to the angry part or the suicide ideation part or the person who wants to numb or whatever. And he taught me, like, don't shut him up. Don't tell him to get lost. Don't tell him you don't matter. Like, you need to listen. And it gets weirder than that. You actually give them names. Like, you name these parts and you have conversations with these parts. And I think ultimately with this type of therapy, it's called no bad parts because even the bad parts, like that sound bad, like the alcoholic part, they want to help you. Like they love you. They're protecting you. Like, this hurts so bad. Let's just numb with alcohol.
Yes.
Right.
Like they love Mason. They're trying to protect me. And so part of this therapy is trying to find a new project or a new identity for them. So like, you love Mason. You want to help him by numbing the pain with alcohol. That's great. You love him. Let's find a different avenue for you that you can help Mason instead of being alcoholic guy. I'm not really there yet. I think you're supposed to kind of turn these parts into better parts at the end. The part I'm in is just listening to them and letting them be heard, and the skill of just talking to these parts inside my own head on a daily basis has really helped me just carry it.
Is it about creating like a team?
Yes, that's actually a funny metaphor I use. Is I feel like I'm the point guard again.
Right?
I'm like, everyone gets the ball a little bit of anger,
Your
a little bit
basketball
of charity.
Because now,
helps that,
because
right?
now I'm not just by myself dealing with this. I've got 10 other people with me, so it's like we're all banding together for the same
Like a
purpose.
team. That's amazing.
So when I'm feeling angry, instead of just screaming or punching myself or whatever, you talk to that angry part. Well, why are you mad? Well, I'm mad because this asshole cut me off in traffic. Well, like, why does that make you mad? Well, my family died in a car accident, so I get really agitated when people make stupid decisions driving because, why didn't they get to die?
Right.
yeah.
And so like it's all connected to this grief, most of my problems. And so if you can just talk to these parts, man, like instead of just self-sabotaging, it really helps me get through the day. And again, I'm hoping as I get better at talking to these parts, I can find healthier avenues for them. But I'm in the stage right now where like I listen to my anger part or the person who wants to kill myself, and I'm like, you should be mad. Like I feel like they're valid still.
Right.
So like I just want to listen to them.
That's the thing. What you're discussing and bringing up is actually monumental as part of the process, because so many times these parts of self, these aspects, we just shut them up or we judge and we say, oh, that's bad, that's wrong, there's anger, that's terrible. And those parts actually get louder, and that's when they start to act out because they're not being listened to.
We need those parts.
It's like a little kid tugging, going, I need attention. And you're like, nope. At some point, they're going to tantrum and they're going to freak out. So you being able to slow down and be aware enough to say, okay, I see you, I hear you, I'm going to listen to you, before even changing or reorienting them. From what I know, and I don't know all that much, it seems like in the process that is a step that comes. Right now, it's just being present to listen and to validate those parts.
And I think that's what's helped me as a podcaster. Like, I just need to listen. I actually don't need to talk.
Right.
And it's funny because you start a podcast and you put a microphone in front of your mouth, so you feel like, oh, I need to talk. But
right.
in reality, like, I just need to listen to these people because they have plenty to say and they just want to feel heard. I don't have to fix it even. I don't even have to fix it. And thank God, because you can't. There's nothing you can do to fix it. But yeah, they just want to be heard. And if they feel heard and understood, it's easier for them to carry. And when it's easier for them to carry, they find joy with the grief. And
so podcast, do you interview guests that are experiencing grief?
Oh yeah, that's all I do, yeah. And there's that I don't feel alone anymore because everyone's got a brutal story. And
it's all relative, man. Everybody's going through their own.
I mean, listen to some of the episodes. My story is not the worst story. Like I've interviewed people with just like,
right. Yeah. How are you still here?
Yeah. And just learning from them and talking to them has been very healing, and finding community because you just feel so alone.
Yeah.
So finding that community's been a big help too.
That's amazing.
And giving back is big for you.
Oh man, yeah, because so many people helped. And when you get that much help and you're just laying in bed all day, like part of me just wanted to help back. And so this finally gives me a chance to help back and give back. And I think helping is a two-way street. And I think that goes back with guys. Like another thing that guys really struggle with is asking for help. Like we just hate it. Like we'll die before we ask for help. Like nah.
It's like asking for directions.
Yeah, and I think one thing that makes it I ask for help all the time. That's one of the reasons I'm still here.
Did you always? Or?
No.
Right.
Hell no. And one thing that helps me feel confident and keep asking for help is I try to help a lot. I give back and I try to make that a two-way street. I think if it's just a one-way street, you're constantly getting help but not giving back, that's bad. And if you're constantly helping, but you never ask for help, that's equally just as bad and selfish.
Right.
And so finding that sweet spot of the we and the me, 'cause you cannot do grief alone. You cannot cross the river of grief alone. I don't care if you're a CEO. I don't care if you're a professional athlete. I don't care if you're a big time lawyer. I don't care if you wrote a book. Doesn't matter who you are. You cannot cross the river of grief alone. You have to find people and link arms with to cross this thing. And I think that's the most humbling part of all of it. Because it feels so individual. My kid, my wife, my brother, my nephew. And for so long, that was my grief, because grief just makes you so selfish. Me. Like, I don't even have time to hear anyone else's problems. Like, your dog died? I don't want to hear it. Like, give me a break. And now I'm at a stage in my grief, well, not all the time, but now I can like have sympathy, like, oh, your dog died. Like, wow, like that's actually sad. Yeah. And before it was just, I don't want to hear that.
Community, man. Community is like, there's
belonging.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, for me to sit just with one person that understands any aspect of anything I've ever gone through, I'm like, oh my God, I feel so much better right now. Yeah.
It's a relief.
What's it like for Blue? He was 3. We have a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
And so what's it like for him? Does he still ask questions?
He did like the first couple years, and now he hasn't asked questions in a while. I was told if he brings it up, if he brings up the car crash or anything, like you can ask him questions, follow-up questions. But if he changes the subject or doesn't want to talk about it, like don't push it on him.
Don't force it.
So that's just kind of what I've done, and he's just slowly trailed off with, I don't know how much he remembers of it at all
3
anymore.
is quite
But
young.
We talk about them daily, and we have pictures of them everywhere in the house, and so he's very aware of them. The car accident specifically, I'm not sure what he remembers, but he's doing so good. He's 8 now. He's in the 2nd grade. He's dirt biking. Has a little go-kart. He's playing sports. So, yeah, he's my hero. And as sad as my story is, like, I still feel very lucky and happy because I get to be Blue's dad. And so that gives me a lot of peace, comfort.
What are some of your favorite things to do with Blue?
I think we have a pool. We've been swimming a lot because it's been so hot. So he's been a little fish lately, and I just freaking launch him in the pool, throw it. So we've been doing that a lot. Skateboarding. Maybe skateboarding. We went to the skate park last night.
I saw your hat. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, he's going to be a pretty good skater. He likes his dirt bike. We love basketball. We love drawing. He'll bake. He likes to bake with Sammy. We do a lot of stuff, man. I don't know if I can pick a favorite, but those are some of the things.
When did Sammy enter the picture?
I think we've been dating a little over 2 years. She was just really hot, so I wanted to hang out with her. I didn't really.
You were like, it was just a distraction.
You're authentically honest across the board, right?
Yeah. It's like, not always helpful, consistent. To be honest. Yeah, but like that's what, and then I just really liked her, like dang. And then her and Blue just hit it off, like they were best buddies. So that made it easy, and yeah, I just felt right. We just kept hanging out, and now we're a thing. Yeah.
Did you have to contend with any guilt about dating her?
Still today, yeah.
Still.
And the guilt, it's not just guilt of I'm dating and in love with someone else, but it's, oh man, this is like, in some ways I'm just a better part. If you lose the person you love most, with that there just comes this natural regret of, I wish I listened a little more. I wish I did this a little more, even though I feel like I was a pretty good husband. And so now, like, when I feel like I'm a better partner in situations with Sammy where I'm a little more interactive, or I'm listening a little bit better, I'm not even watching TV at all anymore. Instead of just being glued to this TV, I'm just like, and I have guilt with that. Like, I'm sorry, Corey. Like, I'm sorry I didn't give you this version of me that's way better and you would have enjoyed even better. So it's just, there's different levels of the guilt too. It's not just the fact that I get to live and laugh and eat food and do what I love and she doesn't and I'm in love again. I mean, there's that too. But there's grief's a messy thing with lots of layers. So it definitely hurts. I don't think it's easy for Sammy either.
I was wondering how it was for her too.
She says it. I don't know. I think I'd be a very hard person to be in a relationship with, but she seems to put up with me pretty good.
Well, I'm sure there's something she sees in you that is worth putting up with whatever else you're referring to.
You know?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But no, I love her, man. She is awesome. Yeah. She's great for Blue. And I don't do well
Great
alone.
for you.
Like, I need a team. I need, I'm not a solo guy. So she's been a huge help.
Have you had to have conversations with her about where you're at in your grief and why you are the way you are, or why some things come up?
No, I think everything with her seems to be expected. And if I do have a breakdown, she kind of makes me feel like, I'm surprised you don't do more of that. Like, she makes me feel she makes me feel normal.
She doesn't judge you. For
She's like,
safe.
I would be crying too if I were you. Or when I tell her, like, I don't know if I can do this, she understands what I mean.
Yeah.
When I say I hate my life, she understands that part of me needs to express that. She knows that I also love my life and I love her and Blue. She knows that. But she also knows I'm grieving the beautiful family and kids and life I had. She knows, she gets that.
I think it takes a lot of strength and understanding.
I think it's a beautiful form of love, honestly. It's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, it's an incredible thing for a woman to be able to, for a human, to be able to hear that and also not take it personal.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, like,
to not make it about themselves, because we can always tend to do that, right? But to have such a beautiful, big, open heart and a presence with you to know, oh, this isn't about me.
Right.
This is right now about you, and I just need to be here for you and allow you to experience and feel seen, and make sure that you know it's okay for you to feel this way. That's really beautiful, that the universe, God, wherever you are in that space, brought you together with this person that I think it sounds like she's also a part of your healing in that sense.
Yeah.
And also being great for Blue is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. He's the reason why. He's my answer for most questions. Blue.
Yeah.
Blue.
Totally.
But yeah, thanks for saying that, because I do think Sammy's a pretty special person.
I mean, you both are. I don't know if you know how to say that about yourself yet.
It's just like with grief, like, we don't feel cool, we don't feel strong, like, so, like, it's just, I don't know how to handle the compliments, really, to be honest with you, because it just feels like we don't have an option. Like,
right.
It's like you turn on a one-way road and everyone's like, oh, he did it. Like, I didn't have an option.
It was not
like, it was one way.
Yeah.
So I think that is weird, but I do appreciate, it's better than getting mean comments.
Sure.
Like, I'll take it all day. But yeah, I don't know.
Do you have a wish for Blue?
Yeah, well, I think just be yourself. Like, man, the old me just didn't even know what that meant when I used to say that, but just there's already someone else. So just be you. And I think as a father, I think less is more. Like, I just let them make decisions and love them. Just give them unconditional love. And like, Blue doesn't love basketball. And the old me would have been like, we're going to the gym.
Right.
Like, you're going to love basketball.
We're going to change this because
and
this
now,
is what
like,
I do.
me, like, all right, don't play basketball. Like, that never would have happened. But he's not a projection of me. I'm not going to get self-satisfaction through my son on the achievements he has. Like, it's not going to make me any happier as a person if my kid is a really good basketball player or an average basketball player. Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous. And I think the old me would have suffered a little bit like that. I think I would have judged myself as a parent on how good my kid was doing in school, in sports, in whatever it was. And having this idea of that's a reflection of me.
Right.
Which it is in a lot of ways, but man, like, they can just do whatever they want, man. And I'm just glad that he's alive. Like,
Dude,
if
honestly
Riggins came back
believe
to life, he could do anything. I wouldn't care. Like, I just would want to talk to him.
I honestly believe like
Yeah.
our parenting, at the end of the day, it's your job to just like create the best moral people
Yeah.
that you can. What they do, what their passions are, they were cooked that way. They came that way. Like there's no, we can influence that in tiny little ways, but that's not my job. Like to make sure that my child is into the same things I'm into. When they are, you're like, oh, that's fucking cool because I love doing this. So, ooh, we share this thing and it becomes a cool little bond that we have. But I feel like some parents, they spoil that because they push so hard for that connection that that their kids end up hating that fucking connection because it means way more to the parent than a genuine connection does. Like, oh, we've got to have this basketball connection. You're like, God, I fucking hate basketball. You know?
Yeah, it's more about the parent than
It
it is
is,
about the child.
It's like you're, and kids feel that. I mean, the fact that you are parenting in that way is fantastic. I wish more people
And listening too, like,
enjoyed the experience
just
of it.
truly listening to your kid in the eye, like put the phone down and just actually and ask them questions.
Yeah.
Like, Lou, what do you think? They
Yeah.
love that. Like,
Sure.
include them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love being a dad. It's my favorite thing. So
I want to ask where you're at because I think people have complicated relationships with this, especially after loss, with God and faith. And let me preface this by I'm a spiritual person. I've never been a religious person. I've never believed in the business of religion. I do believe in God. It's not about me. I know you mentioned before we started this podcast, you growing up in Utah, you were LDS and you aren't anymore. Where are you at on your relationship with God and faith? And how do you feel after such an experience?
I'm a free agent right now. I'm looking for a new team. No, I was joking.
I get that. I totally get
Where's
that.
the draft?
Yeah, like I'm scouting all of them.
Right.
No, I think the parts that we talked about earlier, like there's parts of us like anger, denial, whatever it is. I think I have that with spirituality. I think I have several very powerful spiritual moments with them since their death. I don't know. I just really like this idea of like existentialism, this idea of when I grew up Christian, like there's good and bad. And if you do good things, you get a reward, you get to go to heaven. If you do bad things, you get punished, hellfire. And it was just like the decisions I was making were based off fear and trying to get a reward. And now, like, it's just shifted to being genuine. Like, if you help someone, you're not going to get anything. You're not going to get good luck. You're not going to get a reward. You're going to get jack shit nothing. You could just as easily not help them or do something selfishly, and the world will spin the same. No one's going to know. It's just something for you to choose. You can choose, do you want to do good or bad? And well, how do you measure good or bad? I think if you choose to do something out of strength, out of courage, I think it's good. If you choose to do something out of weakness, out of fear, that's bad. So it could even be the same decision, but the reason why you're doing it makes it good or bad. Like if you want to get divorced because you've been a lazy husband and you've been cheating on your wife and you think this young hot girl is going to be funner, you're a piece of shit. If you want a divorce because your spouse has been abusive and you want to start a different relationship, that takes courage, that takes guts. And so that's just kind of how I view the decisions I make now is it's not going to be based on what I look like, any outward expression or reward. It's going to be authentic and no one's going to care or know. It's just a decision I have. And so that's just kind of my new moral compass with that.
But isn't it, I mean, in that moral compass, isn't that part of the decision is how it makes you feel inside? Because you have to live with that decision.
Yeah.
So that decision, if you make the choice to help someone, even though you're not going to get this outer reward or praise or whatever it is, there's still that, it feels good to give, like you said, reciprocity. I was given to. I was helped so much. it has to be a two-way streak. I want to give, and something maybe in that giving, or you choose to help, feeds you in some way, feeds that internal moral compass. Would you say?
Yeah, I think well said. Yeah, exactly what I was trying to say. I think so much shame and guilt I have because I wasn't in the car. And so I've been ruled with shame and guilt for so long. I just know if I do make a decision out of weakness or whatever, like I'm going to hate myself. And so that kind of what you were saying is I got to make decisions that I can sleep at night, that I can live with myself. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is like the religion aspect, I just don't need as an aid to make good decisions. Like I don't need your help. So just keep the dogma and I can be Christ-like without the building of a church.
Right.
Fair.
I say that all the time. Like my moral compass that's the God that's speaking to me. And I in my own mind know what feels right and what feels wrong. So I'm good. Like I don't need anybody else judging me for it or me being afraid of someone's judgment or if I'm doing I am a way tougher critic than anybody else is going to be on that. So I've got it. I'm good. Yeah.
But it is like the parts though, because like I'll do mushrooms and then I'm like, yeah, everything happens for a reason and I might be God right now. And like, yeah. So like depending on so that's why I say that is like I do have moments like maybe there is a God and maybe blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, living day to day, that's just where I'm at with
You
it.
said you've had some pretty deep spiritual experiences with them since they've passed. Do you mind sharing one of them?
One of them was actually on mushrooms. That was like the first time I talked to Courtney, and talking to her wasn't everything's going to be okay, but it was you're doing good. You're on the right path. You're getting closer. We love you. We miss you. We're okay. Like having that conversation with her was, and if you're on mushrooms, you kind of know what I'm talking about, but there was a lot happening in that conversation, like the feeling of it. It was just very, very real. I remember one time I used to coach high school basketball, and so my old high school team, I wrote a letter to them, and in the letter I said, run this first play of the game, to get a 3-pointer for Boston. Boston was one of the players on the team. And in the letter, I told Boston hit it for Riggins. And Boston he hit like 6 3-pointers that game, all for Riggins. And so that was a cool moment. I really love dragonflies, butterflies for Courtney. I have lots of cool moments with them when they fly around me at certain moments when I need an answer or support. Music. I have so many connections with them through music. Metallica.
I was going to say, is that why you're doing Australia to go see Metallica?
And so I listen to a lot of music on just randomly, like it's just shuffle. And so like the songs that come in the order sometimes is just like, what?
Yeah.
But I think most of it is honestly just conversations. Like I'm literally just in my own head talking to them a lot, or asking them if they remember this, or I'll just tell them I'm nervous. Like I'm pretty nervous for this one, guys, as I'm like walking into a podcast, or if I'm about to do a speaking event. And then I think speaking event would probably be a good one to end on. When I speak, I feel really close to them. Showing pictures of them, sharing stories of them is one of my favorite things, and just creating a space where I can be a motivational speaker and do that consistently, I've really enjoyed. Because for that 1 hour, 45 minutes, whatever it is that I'm talking, they kind of feel alive a little bit. And I love that too.
I heard someone or read someone say at some point, because oftentimes when talking to people that have experienced deep grief, you can not know what to ask, and you sort of like dance around things, and people get really careful, and that can oddly make it worse for the person, because it's not that you don't want to talk about them, you do want to talk about them, or at least this is what the person said, because then they're next to you and they're close to you, and you want to remember them and feel them around you. But what would you say to people that are trying to have conversations with someone around grief, something they've experienced? Like, what is the way to approach that?
I think consistency is important. I think if you just show up one time and expect something, because someone going through grief, they're so, what's the opposite of consistent? They're just so like radical. Like you don't know what mood they'll be in. So I do think consistently texting or calling or showing up will matter. So you finally find them in a time where they do want to talk or they do want to open up. I do think showing up is huge, and then just listen. You got to be ready to listen and hug them. And for me, you know, grief's different for everyone. But for me, any time someone said something that diminished the pain, I really hated. Like, it'll be okay. Everything happens for a reason. They're in a better place right now. Any of that type of I really didn't like, because I was hurting so bad. And it came from love. Like, and really what they're doing, as we all do when we talk, is we're just projecting. Like, these are our own. When someone says, everyone asks me, no one asks them that. This is their own thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Like, no one, like, this is just what you're thinking. And so I would just be ready to listen, and then don't diminish the pain. And I would just use words like, I love you, I'm here, what do you need?
Yeah.
And some of my friends, man, like I kid you not, like I would just watch a movie or stare at the wall, and they would just sit there with me, and we wouldn't say anything. And I'd kind of forget they were there. They'd meet. I'm like, oh, and like just them sitting there with me. I'm like, that's
what I
and
need.
they might not even know that. I don't know if I ever even told them that, but like they probably left there like, I don't even know if you knew I was there, but
The power of presence.
The
Truly.
fact though, that
Exactly.
they still kept doing it, even if it wasn't, you didn't take notice of it.
And there's
It's,
people, I have people that, like, I'm going to text you once a month. And I'm like, yeah, right. And some people have, like, I'll get a text from every month. Like, so there's some people that consistently, like, Mace, how you doing? That means a lot. Because I do think for a lot of my family and friends, because this is what I thought before I went through my grief, is they're probably like, oh, Mace, it's been 4 years. He's probably doing good. And I'm just over here, like, not doing good.
Right.
Yeah.
So, show up. It's okay if you don't know what to say, but show up, hug them, cry with them. If you cook them food, ask to eat it with them. I like that one. Someone told me that. Like, if you're dropping off food, and 90% of the time they'll say no, like, no. But just ask, like, hey, I made this work. Can we eat with you? And no, if not, no worry. But I like that. Anything to just, you can be with them really helps. Yeah.
I love that. And like something that's coming through from all of that for me is don't expect the response. Don't expect interaction. Don't expect anything from it, but just keep being consistent.
And don't try to fix it.
Don't
it's
try to
not
fix
about
it.
fixing it.
Right.
So don't come in there like with words of wisdom, like, oh, if I'm just going to boom, Romans 33 and then this, like, no.
Right.
It's also invalidating your pain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And trying to like
this,
no, you're
we're going to
feeling
say this is okay.
Yeah.
What's the point of anything if this is okay? This is not okay. Or at least that's how I felt. So.
I would say that I think that's a universal thing. We spoke to someone, I think 2 years ago on our podcast, and she lost her husband at the time, and she said the same thing. Don't say it's okay. It's not okay. It sucks. Don't tell me it's going to be okay.
Don't like if,
Oh, she was also saying, don't cry in front of me. Like, your pain of this experience is worse
that was
than
a big
mine.
one for
You're
her.
nowhere near what it is I'm going through.
Yeah.
And then we had another woman that was talking about grief. She lost someone close to her, and she was saying how much she appreciated that people would just come over and like do laundry or clean.
Wow,
or
just
wouldn't
show
even
up
say
and do it.
anything.
That's really
Literally
good.
just show up
Yeah.
and do the stuff.
that's really, people do that for me. I forgot to, that's really good.
yeah.
Mow the
Massive.
lawn, do some laundry.
And not for the praise of it, just to do it, and would just like consistently show up and do it.
Yeah, because a lot of times what they were sharing too is when someone's in such a overwhelm, or stress, deep state of grief, and then you're like, well, what can I do? What is it? It sort of puts more burden on you. Like I
Having
don't
to
even
make a
know.
decision.
Yeah.
So just
She
coming
was saying
over
that
and
I had
bringing
to start.
food.
I had to start feeling like I had to do something. Like
Right.
it was a test. You know,
Right. I
how
have
are
to
you doing? Let's
respond.
talk about it. And you're like, I don't want to. Like I just please.
yeah.
Like show up and do it, but don't ask me.
right,
Just
right.
show up
Yeah.
and do it.
Yeah.
I get that. I totally get
Oh,
that.
Mason, thank you Thank you
thanks
for
having
being
me,
here.
guys.
Thank you for sitting with us. I do have one final question. We normally ask these 3 questions to our guests, and for some reason they don't seem appropriate just because of the.
No, I like it. We need some lighthearted questions.
They're not
it's
even
not that.
lighthearted.
They're like
It's more
deep
of
life
like,
things.
what was the messiest moment in life that taught you the most? I think you've shared for the last
I think we
hour,
covered that one.
right? But one question, we'll end it here. You shared a wish that you have for Blue. What's a wish for you?
Oh man, a wish for me.
Randy, that was a good one.
was a good
Jesus
one.
Christ. You just fucking
I
pulled
know
that out.
it might be
Man.
hard.
A wish for me. I just want peace. I just want peace. I get that sometimes, but I want to be happy without feeling bad.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's possible, but that would be maybe that I wish that. Or is that a selfish? No, it's for me
it's
though.
not
It has to be
selfish.
for me.
That's
It
why.
has to be for you.
That's why I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, I
because
think that would be a good one. Because it's always just connected with something. Like everything coexists. It's attached to pain and misery. I would like to be happy again with no guilt attached.
And I think it's totally okay to have a wish for yourself that is for you, whether it sounds far out or not, for you to say, hey, I wish this for myself.
Yeah.
You know?
'Cause I'm at the point where like I want the pain. That's how I feel connected. But people I've interviewed, some of them are like, yeah, it's just I've let that go and I'm connected through them with joy now. And that just sounds like, how can you get there? But I think that sounds good. So that'd be my answer. Yeah.
Thank you for being so honest, so present with where you're at, and sharing it with us and our listeners. Really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
What's inspiring is that you're still here and you're doing it. And I just want you to hopefully, if that plants in your head at some point of going, you know what? It's okay to be inspiring because I'm busting my ass to fucking get through this. And it's messy and it's really difficult, but I'm still here. And a lot of people can't say that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So you should pat yourself on the back for the fact that you are. And you're reaching out to people and you're fucking doing things like this and you're talking to other people that are grieving also, and you're building a community with it, because that's amazing. I mean, that is this legacy of you that goes so far beyond just what you're dealing with and what you're grieving. And it's for people to be able to sit back and go, that dude created and helped so much with change because he went through such a tough situation. And that's a huge thing to do. So I love you for doing that, man.
I appreciate
Really.
that. Thank you. Very kind of you guys to say.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this episode. Thank you, Mason, for joining us. Wow. I am left speechless, honestly, at the end of this one. This was such an incredible, vulnerable share from Mason. And truly, to see his authenticity and where he is at in his stages of grief, I think is so relatable for so many people. Thank you for tuning in and listening. And if you have anybody in your life that is experiencing grief, may it be recent or from years past, please do share this episode onto them. There is so much power in feeling seen. And as Mason explained, community, in knowing that you're not on an island of one, that there are many other people that are feeling and experiencing the things that you are feeling. So please do share along this episode so they can feel seen. And also make sure you check out Mason's podcast, the 1090 podcast, where he is openly sharing about grief and hearing other people's stories too. Wow, what a gift that we get to do this, that we get to share this space with people and listen to stories like Mason's. And thank you for you guys for tuning into us, because you guys listening, liking, following, and subscribing means we get to do this. So thank you. Hit that button if you haven't already. Hit the share button, please, if you haven't already. And we will see you on the next one.
I just wanted to take a moment to let you know that you don't have to navigate life alone. If there's something hard that you're dealing with or you're just ready for a change, then reach out to me at randyspelling.com, or you could DM me on Instagram, also at randyspelling. And if I can help you, I will. If there's a resource that I can share with you, I will also do that as well. Thanks.